Hi, this is David with you once again, and what I thought I would go over with this video today is the Tilt Shift filter. And with this filter, what it does is it blurs above and below a selected subject to give you sort of the perception that the camera is only inches away from the subject. And in doing this, it sort of gives you the illusion of sort of a miniature scene. So what I've done is I've grabbed a couple images here that sort of demonstrate the effect, and I thought I would just go over it with you quick. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out by just doing a Command J to duplicate the layer, and then we're going to come up to Filter and click on that and go down to Blur and come over to Tilt Shift. So once this filter loads up, what you'll see is the blur ring in the center. And what this is something that you place right over your subject. And what we're going to do is I want this road to be sharp. This road going sort of diagonally here to be sharp. And with this little ring placed right over the road, we have a few different things going on. What we can do is we can actually change the amount of blur going on that we have going on up here just by grabbing it and just with our mouse and just kind of pulling it around. And you can see how that changes the blur completely. And you can also do that by going up here to this menu and pull the blur and just kind of pull that down. So you have it in a few different spots where you can kind of control that. And once we've sort of have it at an area that we like, then what we can do is also change the rotation just by clicking and dragging and sort of lining up the lines where we want that focus to be and where we want it to fall out. Now what we have is we have the solid white lines, which are more of a focus line. So what this is doing is between the white lines is what's going to be 100% sharp. So what we can do is just pull this up just along the sidewalk area of the Las Vegas Boulevard. And then I'm going to actually grab the top one and pull that down just above the street and then sort of reorient the image, re-rotate, and maybe just tighten it up just a little bit. And once we have that done, now we can move to the dotted lines. And the dotted lines are sort of a transitional area of what from the sharpness to the blur. And I'm going to go ahead and pull those in pretty tight because I want to just really focus on the road. So what we've done is we've sort of created this look and feel of sort of being in a small city. Once we have sort of what we're looking for, what we can do is come up here to OK, click on that, and that's going to load the selection. So now when we're looking at this, it sort of gives you that a little bit of illusion that it's kind of a tiny city. When you zoom in here, the cars look almost miniature. And that sort of just gives you that effect, which is kind of cool. Now I also have loaded another image up here, which I thought we could sort of grab too and do sort of the same thing. So I'm going to do a Command J. I'm going to go up to Filter, Blur, and Tilt Shift. And once that loads up, we sort of get the same thing going on again, where we have the focus ring in the center. And I'm going to go ahead and pull down. What I thought I'd do is just hit this little railroad track here, and then we're going to sort of bring it in real tight just to control that. And then just kind of rotate it a little, make sure it's straight, because sometimes it gets a little wonky. And basically just do that. And then when we click OK, it sort of lets you focus in on that area. And what's kind of cool is I'm going to go ahead and turn it off for a minute and duplicate our original layer by doing a Command J. And I'm going to actually do something a little different with this one, is we're going to actually come over here and do a Tilt Shift, but we're going to actually spin that completely sideways here. And we're just going to take it over on the edge of this building. So what I want to do is I'm going to bring this one in really tight and just give it a little spin. And with this, we want to make sure, you can see here, I'm going to go ahead and boost up the blur a little bit. You can see that this is not going to be very accurate as far as giving a real good idea on what's happening, because this should all be blurry if it were the actual scene we were focusing on the edge of the building. So what I'm going to do is just pull in this little dotted line, which is going to bring that transitional area in all the way up to the building. And what that's going to do is allow this building to be sharp and then pretty much everything else to fade out. And I'm going to go ahead and pull this transition over a little bit too. Let me straighten that up again. So what we're doing is basically creating a line of focus just on this edge here. And by doing that, we've tightened up the focus behind and made it so that the transitional area is all the way up to the line. And we click OK. And what that does is that's going to focus on this edge completely. So that's what's going to be in focus. And just to kind of zoom in here, you can kind of see it. It does a pretty nice job, and it lets you sort of push a perspective on where you want people to focus their eyes. So hopefully this tutorial kind of helps you out a little bit. It's something that's just kind of fun to play around with a little. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any comments, please don't hesitate to shoot me a comment. And if you really liked it, go ahead and subscribe, and I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.